Oops, I did it again. Yeah, baby. What do you think? Okay, the whole family, we all went red, white, and blue. I couldn't really pull white off, though. It was more of a dingy yellow. I think if I put any more bleach in the hair, it would probably melt. I'm going to be 50 in 2 weeks, and I still have a full head of hair, despite... hey, some guys just have genetics. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, people are like, how do you still have hair with all the drugs you do? Well, one, I don't do that many drugs, but I don't know. That's the answer. Some guys, you do a little bit of test and everything falls off, and then you grow hair on your back and your ears and call it a day. Other guys, I don't know. My wife says I'm growing hair on my back, though, and I'm starting to look like a gorilla. Luckily, I'm a blonde. Blonde/gray, so it doesn't, you can't really see it, but it's there, believe me. So this is footage of me training first private session at Artist Boxing Gym and Fitness. And we've been going all over the valley trying to find the perfect gym that has both a good serious trainer and somebody that, you know, works well with kids, and that's the hard part. So a lot of facilities do cater to families and children, but you tend to find that it's one or the other. They're like, when you go in there and the kids are training, like Syndicate is a MMA affiliate gym, and they've got serious ranked fighters on their roster, and a lot of the unranked ones are ones that are coming up to do the classes, and they have classes for the kids. And it's all kids, you know, like rolling. Like Roxy does the jiu-jitsu class when I was there last with both of my kids. And then my buddy Tori did the kickboxing, you know, and then you can get in the octagon and spar. That gym, though, what I didn't like about it, it was like when it was the kids class, you didn't have really serious adult training going on. The other thing is a lot of the sparring. It's a lot of testosterone. So a guy like me walks in there and they take a look at me, and I would go in there with younger guys, and they would, you know, want to go hard. And it's like, bro, I'm just trying to, you know, do a little work. I am not trying to settle a score or prove myself. So I was often found that I was getting beat up, you know. So that's not fun. And that was an issue with a lot of places I was going. Guys just get aggressive when you're sparring. You go a little too hard, and they start to go a little hard back, and it's so often so easy it devolves into a slugfest. And when that can be fun, I love it. That's fun, but it's also not good for you. It's really bad to be like accumulating that much head trauma all the time. But so this gym, my wife and I, they opened up a new boxing store, a place where you could buy equipment, and in that same strip mall, if you will, it was a coffee shop. Brand new. I'd never been there. I took my wife. We had nice outdoor seating, and we were outside drinking or whatever. She had a cappuccino or whatever, and I had just straight black coffee. And I'm looking across the parking lot, and I see this art boxing. What? And then next to it was a jiu-jitsu. So I just thought it was like all one facility. Jiu-jitsu, boxing, and I thought it was just the same business. You know, they had both. But I kept looking at it. I'm like, that doesn't make sense, though. Artist boxing? You know, I need glasses. I can't really see the sign. So they were getting ready to leave. I told my wife, I was like, hey, can we check that place out? And she looked over and she goes, yeah, that's fine. Walked over there, and when I walk in, there's this wonderful paintings on the wall of all famous boxers. And there's one guy inside, and he's working with a gal, and they're doing their thing in the ring. And I thought it was private. I thought it was closed. I said I was going to come back later, and he just said, "No, come on in." And we started talking to him, and he's a real super friendly guy. And I couldn't really get a feel for him. He's like me. He doesn't like to brag. My wife People will often come to me in public and they'll say, "Oh, you work out, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I lift a few days a week. Yeah, I can get after it." And it bugs my wife. She's like, "Why don't you ever like tell people you're a power lifter, you're a champion, you've won?" I'm like, "Eh." I was like, people don't really care, like people that care, but the average person is kind of annoying. You don't want to be that guy that just like starts bragging, like, "Well, yes, I do lift. I'm a many-time state champion, and I've got all the blah blah blah." And it's like, yeah, nobody likes that guy. But she says, "But you don't even do it in situations where you're around other lifters." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, when we go to the gym and there's new people, and say you got a guy that comes up to you and he sees you lifting and he starts talking to you, you don't want to lead with like just bragging the crap out of him. Like, yeah, bro, I went to Worlds last year and I played silver and I could bench 405 pounds," and was like, no, I don't like people that do that to me. I don't like it professionally. Like, at work, especially in the safety community. You'll meet another safety manager, and they'll immediately start grilling you to see what you know and what your credentials are and their resume. And like, "Do you have a CHST certification?" And I went to, I'm like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't care. I'm not interested on all your accolades. Like, okay, I am. I'm very interested in your accomplishments, but like, I'm not. It doesn't. It's not a requirement for us to be friends. Does that make sense? Like, whether or not you have major accomplishments does not dictate my opinion of you as a person. How you are as a person dictates my opinion of you as a person. Like you may have never competed or won a thing in your life. And like veterans, like people are like, when I tell them I'm a Marine vet, they kind of, they look down and shuffle their feet and they're like, "Well, I would have joined the Marines, but I had an injury," or, like, no, it's fine. You have your path in life, I have mine. I was a Marine, you went to college, whatever. It's like, I don't look down on you because you didn't do the same things I did or like the same things I do. So that's why I don't like to lead like that. He seems to be the same way. He was very, very humble, and it was hard to get a feel for, I knew I recognized him, but I couldn't figure out what. And on the wall, it had pictures of him with Manny Pacquiao and Julio Cesar Chavez. He was, he's in the corner with the guy. And then I started piecing it together. I was like, well, this guy's been around. Like, and just working with him, you can absolutely tell 100% this guy's a real professional. And he's awesome with the kids. That's the hard part that's hard to find. It's hard to find a place that's both serious, where you get serious training, and with the kids and the adults. So it's either kiddie time or it's adult time in most places. But with him, he's just naturally good with people. So we both train together. It's amazing. Well, as it turns out, his name is Paul Mayorquin. He's the head trainer, gym owner, 2 times Golden Gloves champion. He's been boxing over 35 years. He's got a professional record. He's got 10 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw, and 4 knockouts. And he was telling me that, he used to box with Golden Boy, and he worked with Julio Cesar Chavez, and he liked the list. He's got a really awesome pedigree. And everybody I talked to said, this guy's amazing. Like, you have no idea the diamond in the rough you found. And the interesting thing is, I would have never walked in that place in a million years had it not said artist. So it's artist, boxing, gym, and fitness. The artist thing, I was like, I had to find out because I'm an artist and he's an artist. Like, what are the odds? But I did kind of tell him, I said, when it comes to business, like if I was opening up a gym, I think it's okay to brag in that case, because when clients are coming in and trying to suss you out, they're looking for that reassurance that their money's going to be a good investment, like they're getting trained by the best. So if I'm a gym owner and you come in, I think now I'm going to tell you, yep, yeah, that's me on the wall. I'm 2-time world silver medalist. I competed at nationals twice. I've got the state records in 2 weight classes. I'm currently ranked #1 in the world. And, well, yeah, I might be. Once I turn 50. I think right now I'm 3. Whatever. I digress. I'm up there. That's okay to brag, because now you're reassuring me as a client that, oh, yeah, well, this is the guy right here, But you could just tell. You just tell just working with him that he was something special. And I really, really like this guy and this gym. And we were talking about videos, and he says a lot of people try to film and they do the TikTok and they do all this stuff, and it's like they have serious boxers with pedigrees that come in there, and you want to represent his facility in the best way possible, and a lot of people don't care when they take their videos. They don't shout the gym out. They're just like, you know what I mean? Like it's very easy for someone to come in there and paint the place in a negative light because they're not interested in anything but themselves. And I said, no, absolutely. Like, I really, really like your facility, and I definitely, if I can give you any business, because there's a lot of power lifters that carry over and they're interested in training. I said, there's probably a good opportunity for some clientele carryover because I'm pretty high up in the organization. I know all the power lifters, and I'm reasonably well known in the powerlifting community. So maybe there's some. I can get you a couple clients. And I know, especially with families, man, I don't think you could do better. Like I said, we've gone all over this valley, and I've looked at a bunch of Muay Thai places. I've looked at jiu-jitsu places. I've looked at other boxing gyms, and I've trained at a handful of them, and just couldn't find the one that just felt right. And this one feels like home. It's a small, intimate facility. It's got everything you need, but it's not too much. And once his client list, he's been open a little over a year, and he has other trainers that help him out, but I could see this place getting really busy and him having to branch out. I tell you what, because he's like that diamond in the rough, once it gets out there, how awesome this guy is. It's almost like I don't want anyone to know. It's my little secret. Yeah. But then at the same time, businesses need to make money. So I was telling him that we want to open up a gym, and how cool would it be if you get the boxing gym, you got the jiu-jitsu place, and then you had like a powerlifting / barbell strength sports type gym next to it. Man, that would be like even the owner of the strip mall was saying, it would turn into like a little fitness mecca, and that's kind of what he's going for. He's got like a little theme growing there. That would be super cool. And we got a business plan. We were really close. We were really close to opening up a gym. We couldn't agree on a calcifying philosophy. We had some minor disagreements on what we wanted the place to be, so we decided it would be not too smart for our friendship to go into business together. Regrets that I didn't try? Well, no, because I'm gonna try. I need the right, I gotta find the right place. We got access to equipment. It really wouldn't take much to pull the trigger and open up a gym. The only problem is, how do we support everybody while we're in that phase of not being profitable? Because gyms are not profitable. They don't make a lot of money. They can, but especially when you open them, it takes a while before you're generating income, and I'm not the kind of guy that's got a lot of liquid assets, so I'd have to find a way of supporting us while we became profitable. And there's a lot to it. You don't just open up a gym, quit your job, and there's a lot to consider, especially when you've got a family and bills and all that. So I don't know, that's a direction I wouldn't mind going in. All right, you know what we do. We respond to comments. First one, Kooky Crustacean. You should compete in amateur boxing. Man, I do a lot of sparring, actually. It's been a month or so since I've done my last serious sparring session, but I'm deceptively fast. Like, you see me when I do my videos and I'm hitting the bag and I'm just kind of oafish and flat-footed and just like pushing the bag. Usually I'm doing cardio, so those are timed sets, and I'm tired. That's at the end of a workout, and I'm just half-assing it, just getting through the timer, and I'm still hitting the bag as hard as I can, and I'm still moving, but I'm not really like moving. When I'm properly motivated, people tell me it's scary how fast I move because they don't see it coming. They're just like, holy shit, he's moving. Well, blinding light. Now, how long can I keep that up for? That's the problem. The first 30 seconds, and I'm coming straight down the pipe. They'll rush in 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, show up, get you in the corner, use my weight, tire you out, push you around. I don't have a lot, I'm not good with my footwork, so I use too much energy when I'm springing back and forth. The way I push off my legs takes a lot of energy. So there's a lot of things that I'm doing wrong, and it causes me to gas out pretty quickly. And I can usually fight through that because of all the years of training I have. You know, when you're doing AMRAPs, like when you say you take a set to failure and you're going lightweight, let's say you got 135 pounds on the bar and you have to bench to failure, you will be in a massive amount of physical pain before you actually get to muscle failure. So the only way you could make 135 pounds efficient is if you can fight through that lactic acidosis, that pain that your muscles are on fire, to get to the point where they're actually going to fail with 135 pounds, which is why working out with lighter weights sucks. I'm not saying it's bad and that you can't grow muscle. You absolutely can. It's just to get to the failure point requires a lot more physical torture than if you just threw 300 pounds on there and then your muscles fail well before they get that lactic acid build up and it starts burning. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So the point is, I know how to fight through that fatigue and I can keep going, but it's just like, man, unless you've gone a round or two, holy crap, you gas out fast, or I do. And the training that these guys do to do actual fighting is insane, and I can't serve two masters. Like, I couldn't get to a point where I could be an amateur boxer and a powerlifter at the same time. They just don't work well together. I know he's probably joking. Like, yeah, you should probably be an amateur boxer. Look at this loser. You know, I know what I'm not that good, which is why I'm getting training. But, you know, I am saying that, like, I was surprised. The old man will surprise you. You know, you watch the videos and you're like, he's not that good. But, you know, if we seriously went at it and you didn't know what was coming when the bell rings, you're going to be shocked. But that being said, I'm also horrible with footwork and defense, and if my plan doesn't work and you're actually decent enough to evade me or get around me or stop making me moving, you expose all my weaknesses, and any real boxer would knock me the hell out in 20 seconds. You know what I mean? Like, I just have a horrible habit of dropping my hands, and there's a lot of things I need to work on. So before I'd even consider getting in the ring seriously, I would want to sew that stuff up, which is why I'm obviously training with this gentleman. Now, I'm telling everybody this is more for my daughter than me, because she's got some serious skill. For a 9-year-old, are you kidding me? And she wants to do it. I would just love to see her. Just they do sparring with other kids, and he was saying that she's so far above them. And I said, well, what's she going to do when she gets hit back by one of these girls? He said they hardly hit. Like, girls, like, touch. You know, they got headgear on. He said there's, like, literally zero chance she's going to get hurt by one of these girls. He said you'd be more concerned about her hurting one of them. Because she actually, one of the things I do is I let her spar me. And I let her hit me. And I'm like, hit me. You know, she punches me in the stomach. I'm like, harder. You know, so she's swinging, man, and she's actually learned how to, like, use some real power. And I would think that if she hit another kid like that, they'd be in for a serious wake-up call. Boys and girls, to a certain age, usually about when puberty starts, are about the same strength-wise. So she's at that age right now where if she fought another boy her age, she would probably whip his ass. Seriously. And then, of course, you know, we go through puberty and that ship sails. But right now, yeah, I would put my money on her. She's better than me, that's for sure. I was watching her do it. Like, the way when he calls combos out, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, she's bang, 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 bang. And in my brain, I get locked up. I'm like, 1, 2, what's 2? I gotta start painting numbers on my gloves. Yeah, my brain freezes, like, when you throw a new command in. I'm just like, whoa. All right, this next comment, it's actually not a YouTube comment. It's a message I received. And I'm not going to say who sent it to me. It's kind of, I would say it's a serious subject. This person was asking me about the use of what's called Kratom. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this before, Kratom. Kratom is it's a plant. It's a leaf. And it's, I think, from Indonesia or the Philippines, somewhere out there. And like, think of it like the cocoa leaf. They crush this leaf up and you ingest it in capsules or powder, or you can make tea out of it. A lot of things you can do. And it's pretty amazing. It's got depending on the strain of plant, it can have different euphoric effects. But most commonly, it's similar to opiates. So it feels a lot like a Loratab or a Percocet or one of the pills that contains hydrocodone. It's very similar to that. It might not be as strong, but you can take enough of it and you can get pretty messed up. It's got limitations to it. If you take too much, you'll get sick and you'll throw up. So it does kind of keep you from taking too much at first. Now, what's good about Kratom? It's a lot like coffee. It helps you wake up. It's awesome for workouts. I was taking it for a while. I felt like my workouts were great, energetic. It's got some pain relieving properties to it, so it was awesome for the knees and the back. Man, I loved it. I was singing Kratom's praises. It's all natural. It's just a plant. What could be bad about it? Well, most people buy it from smoke shops. You go to a smoke shop and they sell different brands, and they just sell it online. It can be hard to know what you're buying. You know what I mean? It's very unregulated. I think they were looking at making it illegal for a while. Now, what's the downside to it? It sounds great so far. I mean, works for pain relief. You get a mild euphoric feeling from it, so you feel good. It's like you feel high. You feel happy. I don't know if you have any of my fellow addicts out there who ever used to take opiates. There's a lot of people that advocate its use for opiate withdrawals, like if people that are trying to get off heroin and things of that nature. You take Kratom, right? It's like the cheat code. Nothing is free, unfortunately. What goes up must come down. The laws of thermodynamics. It just doesn't work that way. It's addictive and expensive. So the first thing you'll note is when you buy it from a smoke shop or online, for I don't know how many grams 300 capsules is, but it's roughly $60. And since it's an unrefined plant, it's just ground up leaves, you have to take a lot of it. So the first thing you'll notice is when you're taking Kratom, you're taking a ton of it. It feels like, oh, should I be taking this much? Yeah, it's ground up leaves. You need to ingest 6 to 8 capsules to start with to get that feeling. Now, the average person who's a responsible person and not an addict, probably it's great. It's like coffee, I would think. Matter of fact, I was on a Kratom forum and they were singing its praises. And if you go online and you type up the benefits of Kratom, you're going to come up with a ton of forums and a ton of information that all sings its praises and how awesome it is. If you look up the downside of Kratom, the dark side, you'll see some really disturbing things. And I lived it. Let me tell you. I started off taking 6, 8 capsules at a time, and quickly, at $60 a bottle, if you can imagine, I was going through one of those bottles. Towards the end, I was going through one of those bottles every few days, and I was spending somewhere between $500 and $1,000 a month on this stuff. Now, the next obvious question is, why did you stop? Well, that's the other thing they don't talk about, is the withdrawals. Once you get physically addicted to this stuff, it's physically addictive. The withdrawals are almost as bad, if not worse, than heroin. When I would try to stop taking them, I would immediately start vomiting, diarrhea, sweats, physical pain, cramps, shivers, physical uncomfortable. You're just uncomfortable. You're just like crawling out of your skin. You can't stand the feeling. And at a certain point, you're just like, screw this. And you're going to take more to make that stop. Not even to get high. You're not even trying to get high. You're just trying to feel normal. You're just trying to make that feeling go away. And it's bad. So gutting it out, like, can you imagine locking someone trying to get off heroin? This is the reason why heroin addicts, it's so hard for them to get off this stuff. Opiates, it's so hard for these people to get off this stuff because the withdrawals are so severe, the average person can't do it without help. So I checked myself into a hospital, but they never heard of Kratom, so they had no idea how to treat me. No, I was locked up in uh, this rehab facility with, they were giving me like Librium and they were giving me Valium just to quiet me down. But I was crawling out of my skin. I was ready to just jump through a window. I had to get out of there. And then as soon as I got out of there, I immediately went and got more. After a while, I got to talk to my doctor, and he did some research, and he was willing to try using the opium withdrawal protocol. So yeah, like methadone, Suboxone, they put me on that, and it worked. It did, but it took some convincing for them, because those drugs are so heavily regulated. They're not going to give them out for people that aren't addicted. You can't just say, well, this guy's addicted to some weird stuff, and we want to just try giving him this drugs. They don't. They're so heavily regulated. It doesn't work that way. So, he wasn't even sure if he'd be able to help me, but they did, and they gave me that protocol, and it worked. Oh my God. The relief of being able to just sit in that hospital and take those drugs, which are essentially you're getting high, but it made the withdrawal symptoms easy. And I was able to get off this drug. Once I got off of it, I wanted to tell everybody my story, all the Kratom users. I got on that forum and I presented a very thoughtfully typed up letter that didn't admonish anybody for using it. I'm not saying don't take the stuff. I'm not saying it doesn't have good uses, especially if you're responsible. I think it could be a great thing. But if you're an addict, be careful. Well, they booted me off the forum and they blocked me just for simply pointing out that it's got a dark side. I wasn't even saying it's bad or you shouldn't take it. I was just pointing out, just like, hey guys, just so you know, just saying, just be careful. Coffee, if you drink, I drink coffee a lot of coffee. I'm a recovering addict. I haven't had drugs or alcohol in years, but I still struggle with cigarettes and coffee. I do. Hey, welcome to an AA meeting. We're all going to die of lung cancer. That aside, that's a whole different topic. No, it's, just pointing out that it had a dark side. They didn't want to hear it. They absolutely didn't want to hear it. The cognitive dissonance was, oh man, it's just, people want to believe that what they're doing is acceptable and good. And here's the thing. It's like, you got to think for yourself. You have to be able to discern the good and the bad. And by me saying that what you're doing has a downside if you are not careful, is not me criticizing you as a person. I'm not judging you for taking Kratom. I'll even go so far as to say, hey, it can be good for wonderful workouts. Man, I would take a few of those pills and I'd start training, and I just wanted to keep going. It was great. Loved it. Sleepy in the morning, take a few of those, you're up, ready to go. Great. We helped with my digestion. It's plant fiber. Great. there's great in it. Bad. It's untested. A lot of them were reporting to have heavy metals in them. No bueno. Bad. It's physically addictive. How much do you have to take for how long? I don't know. Does it take a year? Does it take 6 months? How much of an amount do you need to take? I don't know. I do know that, here's the deal. It's super expensive. So once you get to the point where you are physically addictive, you are now that guy that's stealing $500 to $1,000 of your household's money to feed a habit, and you want to quit. You know you're doing wrong. I knew I was doing wrong. I knew I crossed the line. I didn't know how I got there. How did this happen? Once again, I have to say, I'll raise my hand in a meeting and say, I'm Charlie, and this is day one, because of something that was supposed to be all natural. It was supposed to be the cheat code. I could have my cake and eat it too. You can't. Not if you're an addict. It just doesn't work that way. It, unfortunately, for drug addicts, for most drug addicts and alcoholics, I'm not saying everybody, but for most of us, it's all or nothing. You can't dab, you can't cheat. Some of you can. Some of us got this thing worse than others. I know plenty of guys that went through rehab and they still have some beers on the weekend. I just, I don't judge you. I'm not saying what you're doing is good or bad. I'm just saying, watch out for yourself. I'm concerned for you. You know what I mean? It's love. I want to see you all do well. That's all it is. Kratom. Try it. I advocate the use of Kratom responsibly. The question: 1, can you get good product? 2, can you use it responsibly? 3, where's the line? I don't know. I can't answer any of those. I'm not going to say something's good or bad. There's nothing that's good or bad. I don't think alcohol's bad. I don't think drugs are bad. I think the way we use things is bad. It's all about, cause and effect and intention. I don't even think drugs like crystal meth and cocaine are bad. Like, if you're one of those guys that can go party on the weekends once a month and you do a little recreational drugs, is that a bad thing? I don't think so. Go have some fun, man. You start doing it every day, yeah, that's horrible. Like, that's not good at all. You're going to be stealing copper wire out of houses, and you're on a corner skinning them, and you're putting way, way, way more work into getting $20 than I would if I just went to work for the whole day. You know what I mean? That's a tweaker in a nutshell. That's, I don't know. Nothing's good or bad. It's just what we do with it. Plain and simple. Man, my allergies are kicking my butt. I'm all stuffed up. I got to get to work. I'm back on days, so that's good. That means I'll probably start making these videos in the early wee more hours again with my little black light. I got more artwork planned. I'm doing more drawing. I'm still working on my figurines. It's been a really interesting week. We got the holiday week coming up. 4th of July, baby. Yeah. Can't wait for you guys to see me in my little Don Fry shorts. Yeah, and we got the whole family's got. We have a theme planned for the 4th of July. We here love America. We don't like the American government. We don't like what they're doing to our country. But we're patriots. We still love this land we live on, and we're gonna defend it. And yeah, baby. I love you guys. I will see you on the battlefield.